Hi everyone, it's Scarlet
And Letty.
and we're here today with Philip O'Brien.
When you want to cure your blues, just listen to our tunes and we will make them last. When you're down, we'll be around, 'cause we're the Sherborne Girls podcast.
So first of all, what inspired you in your younger life to pursue music?
When I was about 4, I went over to the piano. My father and my sister were singing and playing at the piano, and I said, could I join in? And I did. And we started a family choir that went around the country. It was a Catholic choir. And within about a year, I was singing at Chelsea Town Hall in front of about 500 people as a harmony line. And that really took off. So people kept inviting us to go around. So that really started me off really good for performance. Got really good for that, and so that's what got me going. And then as I went on, I just loved performing. So music was my way of performing. I would go any chance of signing up for house drama or anything like that. I was first there. So I also thought Fred Astaire. I don't know if you've ever heard of Fred Astaire, but he's a dancer and actor from the 20th century. But I was always inspired by his performance. So. Which got me into the music theatre as well. So I was very eclectic. I liked opera, but I also liked music theatre.
Okay, so we know you're an opera singer. What was your favourite part about that job?
So my favourite part about being an opera singer was travel. There's an amazing amount of travel involved. So speedboating in Venezuela. I went to Russia and Finland for 6 weeks when I was quite young. When I was 21, I was flown to Uganda to do 20 minutes of madrigals. Do you know what madrigals are, Scarlet?
I do.
Yes.
I'm part of it.
So I went to Uganda just to sing madrigals, which is extraordinary. So that's possibly my favourite part of it was the travel, but I also love performing in public. So that was a really exciting part of it too.
Well, that's so interesting to be able to travel the world while you're doing something you love as well.
Yeah, it didn't feel much like a job, to be honest.
What would you recommend to someone our age, so in year 9 or year 10 or around that, who wants to go into the musical industry?
So boring answer, number 1, would be make sure you have a backup for when you're resting. So you won't be, if you're successful, you won't work all the time. So what do you do when you haven't got work as a singer or an instrumentalist or a composer? You need something to back you up. So I recommend heavily that you go to university, get your degrees, or go to conservatoire, get a degree, but also find a way. I could always teach singing, so that whenever I had a gap, I just go off and teach singing. So that kept me successful. The pros for recommending someone to take it up as a career is you'll never feel like you're working for a living. You're going to feel passion, excitement, adrenaline. You'll feel like you're alive all the time. It's an incredible privilege to have a chance to do such a vocational thing.
That's really interesting. And whilst you were working in the industry, what do you think were some of the biggest struggles you faced?
My biggest struggles was patience, really. I had a really long time before my voice settled down. I started off as a tenor, then I went to baritone, then I went back to tenor, then I went back to baritone. And I always wanted to be a tenor, but I couldn't quite get my voice to sit high enough to do that. So I spent 6 years at Guildhall as a baritone. I then came out there and changed to tenor for a couple of years. That didn't work. Went back to being a baritone again. Then I went to Glyndebourne as a baritone. Glyndebourne's a big festival in Sussex. And then suddenly, at one day, my voice, I was singing some aria, and suddenly I could sing really high, and suddenly I was a tenor, and that really changed things for me. So that was a big struggle, really, waiting for my instrument to actually settle down enough to use it.
Wow, okay, that's very good advice. So do you prefer teaching or singing opera, and why? Because we know you do both.
I definitely preferred the lifestyle of an opera singer just because it was more exciting. But it's a bit of a young person's game. So I had a good 20 years of just wandering around the world, no responsibilities. So that was really, really good. But as I got a bit older and had children and was away all the time, it got a little, the thought of sitting in a studio with my pets around me and just teaching seemed to get a little bit more attractive. So it's a very selfish thing to do. You just literally go abroad, you're travelling all the time, and then suddenly you've got family, you've got young ones, and that can be quite hard when you're away from them. So that was a part of it.
And finally, I have an extra question. So we both heard that you have a special helper in your studio, and could you tell us a bit about him?
Well, I have an incredibly talented helper in my studio, and he's got great stamina. So he will do 11 to 12 hours with me every day. And he's got quite a lot of talent too. So he's a little black and white friend. He's a Jack Russell, a long-haired Jack Russell, and he will sing for the pupils, and some of them like that and some of them don't. And he sits under my desk all day long. But when he hears the piano, especially the high notes, he will start singing away, and you'll hear him go, ow, 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 ow. And last year we did The Wizard of Oz, and our Toto was ruled out at the last second, and I went home and got Patch and put him on stage for the week, and Hazelmere, he was the toast of our local town. They absolutely loved him.
That's incredible. Thank you so much for coming today.
It's my pleasure.